metal.
Okay.
And if you have pop cans or debris in the bay, they'll get lodged.
It's gonna stop the whole thing.
Yep.
Okay.
The little metal.
Yep. It reads these. Correct.
Tells it to stop.
And there's one at the entrance too. We get a lot of those calls. There's just something wedged underneath. You know? Yeah. You can also monitor that with the CP0. Those inputs are on that chart. But I'm going to show you the. So to be able to, you can either use that icon here, or we can go into POK 3.1 gantry. Again, go to the second byte, put a 7, okay. And it's gonna move by itself, up and down the track. This is the pulse counter. You want that around, that's a little low. I might have to adjust that. It should be around 100 consistently. Like when it's in the middle. Don't worry about when it's at the ends, but right in the middle, you want this hovering around about 100. This is the pulse count that I showed you inside there on that idler. And that should be consistent. It's usually going to be around 300 or something. So when it gets to the end here, this number is going to be like 300. And it slows down, it's predicting that target. And then once it hits that target, then it knows to stop and then it goes forward. But when your wheels start wearing out, they start getting sloppy and you start getting a lot of side-to-side shifts, and it doesn't roll up and down the track well. It'll start jamming up on you. So these wheels are in pretty good shape.
And what about the rails themselves?
They wear out, and you'll start getting like little pits, or like we have some sites that it's like almost like a ramp. You know what I mean?
Like divots?
Yeah, divots. That's a good word. So it'll get to the end and then kind of roll back a little bit, and it loses that prox, and we'll get errors that way. If it gets too bad, you have to replace the rails. It takes a lot of time. It's got to be pretty bad though. The main thing is all those anchor bolts will loosen up on you. We check that on maintenance.
Is that part of the monthly maintenance?
Yeah. Like I say, when I do a maintenance, I start from the ground up. Rails, the guide rails will loosen up. They get loose more than the rails do. Those guide rails, because people are running over them and all that, you know, with their vehicles. So that's that. I was just wanted to show you that number, and I'm glad I checked because I'm going to adjust that pulse prox. It's just a little low. We'll get it up to around 100. And all you have to do, I'm going to stop this.
Yeah.
To stop it, you can either hit the E-stop or go back to that number, 7. Second
back
byte.
to 0?
You can put a 1 in there.
1.
Yeah. And then it'll stop it. So adjust that pulse. You just loosen this nut, and in this case it was kind of low, so I would actually take it farther out from this. We call this the wagon wheel. To increase,
the sensor?
Yeah, the sensor actually physically move it back a little bit.
Would it ever need to be like cleaned up?
Yes,
like it's
absolutely.
corroded.
Yeah, that's another thing you check, because you get calcium and dirt buildup.
Mess with your sensor.
Yeah, even dirt has a bit of minerals in it and that sort of thing, and it will cause it to misread.
Sure.
How about,
Yeah.
I had a site in Van Nuys where the rats were living inside of one.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys find that a lot too?
Yes.
The rats go in there?
Yeah.
Chew the wires?
Yep.
Yeah.
They love
chew on
chewing
the-
cables. Obviously,
Like
they'll
rat nest?
they'll urinate on the components on that side.
Nasty.
Yeah. We've had to change some power supplies and transformers and that sort of thing. The K100 sometimes.
That element for the blow dryer?
Hmm?
The element, is that for the blow dryer?
I'm sorry, what?
The element? Is that for the blow dryer or?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
That's a hot water tank.
Oh, wow.
So it heats up water here and it feeds the pump. That's our low pressure pump. And I was gonna go over that too. That's a reset. So you're gonna have, once in a while, it pops up.
I never realized that they use hot water on these.
Yeah. For the pre-soaks. Can I do this without? So there's a pressure sensor on this pump. And I'm gonna do this just to show you guys. I don't wanna get, can't get it. So anyway, I do my channel locks for it.
Do you actually have to do something?
No, I'm just gonna make it air out and I'll show you how to reset it. That's what I'm trying to do.
So we can't access the other side.
Here we go. Man, this one's an hard spot. There we go.
And this is doing what?
I'm gonna fault that. Here to fault, and I'll show you how to reset it.
Measurement here.
So when it loses that sensor, we're gonna have this fault here. Pump 085-086 pump tripped. So what that does is faults this. Inverter. That's a low pressure pump inverter. So see it's faulted because it lost the signal from that pressure sensor that I hooked. Let's hook it back up. Just suck some tight spot back here. It'll take me a minute. There we go. So that fault won't clear. You have to actually cycle power on the whole system.
Okay. But we learned how to do that.
Yeah. So the reason I'm showing you this comes up quite a bit, and it's an easy fix. So like it won't clear because that inverter is faulted right now, right? Most other errors you can clear it with cancel OK. So you have to cycle power here. And then
30 seconds.
yeah, so
Wait for this to lose power.
yep. So you'll see here it takes. They have capacitors in them. And it
Right,
takes,
right. So they will stay
Yeah.
alive for a little bit.
Absolutely.
That's the way you disconnect with this?
Yeah. And you can also use that breaker up there.
Okay.
There you go.
All power's off.
Turn it back on. And it should clear that fault now. If it keeps doing it, you either got a bad pressure sensor or a bad fault. But sometimes they just trip for whatever reason. All you have to do is reset it.
Okay. And that's just a power cycle to power.
This is a current, so you get moisture that can break through certain.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now we're set to go there.
Erosion is one of the biggest.
Reset the other.
What's that? Absolutely, yeah.
Maybe now we need to do,
Or even solenoids pipe.
Is this still booting up, or do we need to do something?
No, it's just out of position. It's ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, you get corrosion on valves and so they'll pop this 10 amp fuse here. 24 volt AC, that controls all like the solenoids and all that, and that's usually the one that goes. If this is the DC 24 volt, and usually that's a sensor that's shorting. Okay. This will be, if this is popping consistently, it's usually a valve or a coil. 9 times out of 10, or anything like
So this is like stuff you stock on your trucks.
yeah.
We have a leak over there, guys?
Also, here's the dryers. This has got onboard dry. So here's the free.
Yeah.
Yeah, these will trip. It'll shut the machine down. It's usually, you could have a bad motor, or it could be shorted wire inside the motor itself on the wiring. That's the first thing I'll check. Open that box up there. Yeah. Because for whatever reason it starts, you'll get arcing in there and it'll curl the wires short. So I always start there before I start changing a motor. But you guys won't have to worry about that. I'm just showing you stuff
Yeah.
today.
One-on-one.
Yeah, this is also our pre-soak heater that we talked about. It's got overload here. And this is for